this worked for calming my fears. This did not. Keep a journal, like looking up knowledge. Donita suggested look up knowledge. I looked up knowledge, but I crossed that fear. I crossed that barrier and I got right to the edge and I kept going. And now I'm more fearful. Okay. Well, that was not a good thing to do. I will not do that. I will try this instead. I will try Googling or information or reading articles from pub.med.gov or something like that. Like a lot of actual articles that are not people's opinions. You can trial and error. I ran into trial and error with my mother-in-law, and she had a walker, and she refused to use the walker because it made her look old. And it was like, okay, but I understand that you don't want to look old, but you have to get from point A to point B without falling, because if you fall, that's very bad. And, my worst fear was actually recognized. She actually fell because she didn't use her walker. So it is, it's a lot of trial and error. And you really, especially in the caregiving arena, you really have to trial and error. I'm going to contradict myself quickly, and then remember, and then go write it down and analyze it. Or maybe if you don't write, I would write everything down. I would just have a notebook and it would be my fear notebook. And I would be like, okay, what am I afraid of? Why? And sometimes you don't even know it's fear. You do have to realize it's fear, because that kind of leads into ignorance. And when I was a child and people would say, ignorance is bliss, I thought that was the strangest thing that people could say. I mean, we spend our whole life hearing that we should go to school to get a degree, stay in school, but ignorance is bliss. Okay, so it's a very confusing message. Stay in school and be smart and educated, or be ignorant and you'll be happy. Confusing. But what I did realize as a adult was ignorant is bliss does work in some fear situations. For example, if your child's getting married and all the wedding party is sitting around listening to stories, and you find out some things that you may, as parents, didn't know that your son and daughter-in-law did in high school. And then you realize, oh, ignorance was such bliss. They were not hurt. They got away with it. It was taken care of on site. These things are ignorance is bliss. Did I need to know that my tap water had a high metal rate? No, don't. That's something I can't control. So, I mean, I want to use filtered water and things like that, but I don't want it to just grab onto me and carry me down with fear. So there are situations where ignorance is bliss is very nice way to handle fear. Like I said, with your kids, stuff that happened that you find out about later, that's good, because had you found out about it during the time, it probably would have invoked some sort of fear. And ignorance and denial kind of go hand in hand. Denial is a way to handle fear. It is a very slippery slope. If you deny things to the point of hurting yourself even more than the fear would have hurt you, then you've gone too far. And denial I have seen it. I have seen the best denial. It was mind shattering how good the denial was, to the point where, somebody with a terminal disease said every day, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. But yet I could hear them crying late at night. So, it was kind of one of those, like, I'm going to deny it and it will go away, but it did not go away. And when they're deceased and you look back on it and you think, wow, that was a lot of denial, and it just didn't work. And I'm not saying that there's not times that denial doesn't work. I'm just saying it's a slippery slope and you should very much think about it. So far to help you with fear and how to contain fear, I suggested staying positive, using the words less on instead of lessen, to recognize and give yourself a pass for your fake fears, to use your fight and flight senses exactly like they are without you wanting to rewrite them. You just accept them for what they are. Use time, knowledge, trial and error, and pulverize the information. They all kind of go together. Ignorance and denial. Those are two ways to also face fear, but please recognize when denial becomes deadly. So, and it will happen. It can happen. I have a little acronym for fear. I am the daughter of an English teacher, so acronyms come pretty easily to me. And I wanted to go over the acronym FEAR. Face fear, evaluate, articulate, and relax. Face fear, like we talked about, break it down, understand what the real fear is. What are you really afraid of? Am I really afraid of a shark? Yeah, I am. So what is it, an illogical fear? Oh, it is. Okay. So let's not spend, that's breaking it down and going there. If I'm facing my fear of my cancer diagnosis, I am breaking down every bit of information that is helpful to me. I don't cross the line with over information, and I understand what my fear is, and then I can come up with a plan to mentally combat my fear and then fight my diagnosis. And this is specific to cancer that I'm talking to you about, but you can go outside the realm of cancer. Evaluate, use your education and previous experiences to gather information and use common sense. Articulate, talk to someone, journal, ask questions, share information, and relax. You've got this. I do believe you will conquer the fear, because fear isn't always changeable, but it's conquerable. And I'm going to leave you with one last suggestion. When I was a little girl and I was really afraid a lot sometimes, my mom told me that she gave me a little piece of advice that has stayed with me for years and years and years. She said, if I'm so scared that it's almost a paralyzing fear, or if I'm just tiny scared, like how I might do on a test, I can hold my hand palm up just slightly wherever I am. I don't have to hold above my hand like that little emoji with the girl with her hand up. And I don't have to hand it low. I can just barely open my hand on my lap if I want to, because God will hold it, or spirit, or the universe, or whatever God means to you. Open your hand and let God hold it and guide you, and your fear will be contained, and you will be okay. I'm never alone when I hold my hand out. I know that I've always got support, and sometimes you just need that. I just wanted to leave you with that. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And I want to thank you for joining me today on the Mama Bear Cancer Support Radio Podcast on Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind, body, soul. And for more information about my services at Mama Bear Cancer Support, or to hear all of my podcasts, please find them on my website at www.mamabearcancercoach.com. I'm your host, Mama Bear Donita.
Until next time, thank you for joining Mama Bear Donita.